Hi, Ayushi. First of all, I would like to thank you for creating such an amazing platform wherein the women's all over the supply chain can come forward and share their experiences in what terms they contribute because supply chain is not a field where you can
Yeah,
easily enter as a woman because it's a male dominated. So
definitely.
it's a very good work. I am really appreciable to you that you started this podcast and everything. So, just stating about myself. So, my name is Shweta, and I am basically from New Delhi only, India. And I did my schooling from New Delhi itself, and then post that I did my BTech, and I'm having almost 13 years of experience in supply chain.
Wow.
So, post BTech, I started my journey with Honda Cars, which people
Mhm.
usually know as the power of dreams. It's a dream
Yeah,
company for everyone to work with.
definitely.
So I spent almost 12 years over there, and then I switched to Daikin. So I'm currently working as a manager in digital supply chain over here from past 1 year. So if I tell about because being a young girl, because I joined Honda Cars as a GT, and it was like a young girl entering into a male-dominated field. So
Yeah.
it's just like stepping into a world where people often raise an eyebrow before they raise a question. So I basically joined there because my father is a core supply chain professional. So over
Mhm.
these so many years, I've seen him working so hard, managing everything, starting from the basic flows, giving the directions, allotting the team. So I generally had this understanding how the things move, how the decisions are being made, and what are the outcomes, how the teams are being guided, and how certain dots are being connected, to form a single supply chain. So I came into supply chain because purposely I wanted to learn, grow, and eventually contribute in the ways that matter. So I think as a GT level, understanding the basic data is the core of knowing the supply chain. And of course, meeting the right people at the right time is the basic impact. So I think the half of the supply chain is being met once you meet the right people. And if you are being clear, structured, and proactive while communicating with the other people.
Wow, that actually sounds beautiful. And firstly, I am so happy that you entered it willingly because most of the people I feel that I have spoken to, or even I talk to on like normal basis, other than the podcast, say that they got into it accidentally, but they love it here now. But there are so rare people out there like you who have gotten into it out of the whole understanding that you have gotten from your father. Like
Yes,
knowing that how important as a sector it is. Like I love to say that it's a chain, of how one little thing can lead to a very big end process. And
of
supply
course.
chain is something that makes a lot of things possible. And we have realized the essence of it through COVID as to
Right,
how
I
important
absolutely
it is.
agree.
Exactly. And the fact that you ensured that you wanted to get into it in spite of knowing the hurdles that it is a male dominated sector
Yes.
definitely requires an amazing mindset. I would love to know what was your mindset when you got into it.
So basically, my mindset, I was very clear that I don't want to prove myself into a male-dominated society, but I wanted to prove my points. I know how small and clear understandings of the data can make the things easy and can make women enter into this world of such mixed complexities because problem solving is one, but staying calm and doing your analysis is the second most task, which most of the people fail over here. So my purpose was to staying calm and being curious and problem solving is the main agenda that I always look forward into this.
Wow. That actually sounds amazing. And the fact that the first thing that you said, you didn't want to prove yourself, you were out there to make a difference. The way you have functioned definitely shows 13 years into a male dominated sector, I feel is not easy. It's
Yes,
easier to give up once you start to feel that, the so many men around you feeling that sense of, oh, do I even belong here?
I
Those
agree.
feelings are definitely there to overtake the amazing spirit
Yes.
that you might have. So please tell us, what exactly does a day look like in the life of a supply chain planner?
So I would rather modify this question. So I would answer it in a way that a day in a life of a supply chain manager along with the motherhood.
Oh,
So I'm
true.
a mother of two kids. So
Uh-huh.
basically, I have seen the supply chain over my house because every morning as I wake up, so I have two small kids
Yeah,
to send to school, juggling between those and, finding time to review the emails. So that coordination teaches you everything. One-sided, these two demands you, and the other side is your office life. So maintaining a
definitely.
balance between the two as a woman is the hardest thing that a supply chain manager can do. So once I reach office, so usually the day starts with the meetings,
Yeah,
with the review meetings, and then coordinating with the vendors to confirm if there are certain dispatches or delays. But throughout the day, I somehow find myself switching between the negotiating with the suppliers, aligning
yeah,
with the procurements, and checking in the logistics on the inbound delayed trucks or so ever. But I feel that throughout the day, they are the constant decisions that we need to make, which is most important, the constant communication, the answers to the management, why
yeah,
the material is being delayed or why the production line is being on hold. So that is the major pressure that we used to handle. But by the end of the day, after closing every open loop and planning for the next 24 hours, I think there's still
yeah,
a quite satisfaction in knowing that, yes, today you did something really well. And every follow up, every call, it matters. So, being a presence as a woman in logistics, so the showing up is the consistency that you need to maintain. And that is the foremost importance.
yeah. That sounds beautiful, ma'am. And I definitely feel that balancing two tough jobs along with the whole life happening on the other side as well, like not just the kids, but I feel the extended families, especially in India, people
Yes,
do have a lot of other responsibilities,
yes,
unsaid
of course.
responsibilities that you need to take care of. So hats off to you for having balancing such demanding sector job as well as the house.
Thank you.
And as you said, showing up definitely matters. So when I ask you the next question, I would love to understand as to how does one not feel burnt out in a sector that is so demanding as ours?
Within supply chain,
Yes.
so see, it basically depends on your capabilities, I would rather say. So see, if you like the numbers, if you would like to play with the numbers, then demand planning is the basic foremost job that any individual person can take. But if you like solving the problems very fast, then I would say you must get into the operations
Yeah.
because it is the key in that you can learn the data analytics, playing on the budget numbers, and it is very, very influential and you will enjoy it. But if
Yeah.
you like communication and the negotiation part, then you are best to fit in for the procurement role.
Oh wow. Okay.
And if you like systems and flows, then you must get into the planning portion. So I think it depends on the person. He must
Yeah.
choose what the interest he suits. So pick up that one and be comfortable in that flow.
Wow. And to be honest, that the way you described it, you literally showed as to how this sector is for anyone and everyone. Based on your interest, you have so many options in the
Yes.
whole sector that you don't have to pick like, oh shit, I need to be a part of this part only. As you
Yeah.
said, procurement is for people who love communicating and like negotiating stuff. And data also has its own specialty. So I feel it's also ensuring that different kinds of people, say introverts, cannot get into procurement because they don't want to have a lot of communication and negotiation aspect, while extroverts
Yes.
have an amazing life dealing with that side.
Because I think that supply chain is not that easy, but it is somewhat more like a puzzle. Like once you understand one piece and you connect one piece with another piece, then the entire picture gets it clear. So
True.
that's the major part that you need to play in.
True, definitely. And I feel that many essential areas and many essential departments play the role in making the whole puzzle a complete picture.
Yes, of course.
and you have worked deeply in packaging design and 3PL management as well. So,
Yeah.
I firstly would love to understand what exactly is that and in basic stuff, because yes, me and everyone, we are still fresh and we won't understand a lot of technical terms. And how can we develop those skills to get there?
Okay. So basically, when I was in Honda, so I was
Yeah,
given this responsibility of packaging, designing, and 3PL management or the vendor management.
yeah,
So 3PL is nothing but a third party logistics to
yeah,
whom you are giving the opportunity to work under your supervision. So basically, all the warehouses that we big companies have, like Honda, Daikin, so all the warehouses are being driven by the 3PLs, and we have to get the work done by them, either in the terms of execution part, majorly, like the material being in, out, and the dispatches they used to handle, or the material services. So packaging is one of the major aspects that comes into, because if we see packaging, like if you need a product, so you cannot purchase a product normally, you need a proper packaging for that.
yeah,
So the major important tools lies when I was having almost 10 SKUs in Honda spare parts, and we need to design the packaging. So keeping in mind each and every aspect, starting from a nut till a tailgate. So every design used to be designed in such a specific way that it doesn't create any disruptions during the supply chain movements. So every minute details needs to be kept in design. And I think it's all the mindset, how fresh you think, because there is no data science or the logic that you need to put this part into particular packaging. So it is all about your creativity, all about your knowledge, all about your enhancements, the way you think, the way you design the packaging.
wow, that actually sounds awesome and also an interesting job. I feel that it is
Yes,
giving you
it's
that
very
liberty
interesting.
to experiment, and at the same time,
Yes.
like you have to ensure the standards are met. But if
Yeah.
it's giving so much, also, I feel the aspect of arts is covered. Like if you're a creative person, this is a role that you should
Yes, you must
try.
put a hand try on it if you're very creative.
Definitely. And this is a new thing that I am learning today, because I think most of the people I have spoken to till now have been on the procurement side or the sides
Okay.
which are very technical and stuff. I've never come across this creative side of supply chain. So it's good to know about this one
Yes.
as well. And supply chain is this sector which is so constantly evolving and is such fast-paced sector. So what is the one amazing experience you have had where you have this amazing skill aspect of yourself of being calm and composite and taking decisions has come into picture? Please tell us about that experience.
Okay, so once what happened that there was a critical material that needs to be shipped. So a customer was very upset because his car was in breakdown and urgent, door was needed. And
Yeah,
it was already 5 days of escalation, but the material could not be delivered. So it was being escalated from president level to my desk that please look into it why it has not been delivered. So I just checked what went wrong because everyone was on the edge. There were multiple calls, multiple follow-ups from the management, and that pressure was real. But at that moment, when you are having such high pressure, I felt that I learned something very important, that panic multiplies the problem and calmness
yeah,
simplifies it. So instead of jumping into the chaos, I stepped back and I just checked on the reality. I checked why this situation occurred. So basically, what happened, the door we could not dispatch because a basic thing, the packaging material was not in stock.
yeah.
Unfortunately, the inventory was flushed out and the material, the supply was not able to deliver the material on time. So it is very important if you're working in a supply chain, you should have deep knowledge of what went wrong, and you must have the contact details of each and every individual with whom you are dealing. So I immediately called up that vendor, checked in how much duration he can supply. So after multiple conversations, multiple follow-ups, he could supply us the material by evening. We packed that particular door and that and dispatched the shipments. So what looked like a meltdown turned into a workable plan, just because decisions were made logically, not emotionally. And Lastly, I would like to say that in supply chain, you can't always control these kind of crises, but you can always control your responses. So that they particularly taught me that you have to stay calm and you have to
Yeah.
break the problems into the pieces, communicate very clearly with the management, and tell them the real reason. You need not hide anything. And act with confidence, not with fear. That's the major win that you can do in any crisis or during any situation.
True. And I feel that what you said, being calm also shows confidence. I feel that, okay, I think this person is calm because they know what to do next or they have the
Yes.
situation in control. So even if you're not feeling that level of confidence and surety, even if you can pretend that, yeah, okay, I'm cool, I'm okay, like get through this, then it will
Yeah.
calm the other people down who are also your stakeholders out there. And talking about the whole idea of dealing with people, I feel one important aspect is negotiations. So, talking about negotiations, what are 2 to 3 strategies that a beginner can apply from day one to master it in the future?
I think every individual must know their baselines. Be
Okay.
clear what you must have and walk away points. What is the basic requirement? The must and the want. You must distinguish between the two. That is the main criteria as a step that you enter into the negotiation or the strategies when you make with other peoples. You must clarify these are the must requirements and these are the additional that you want, but still these are not the must. So you should know your baselines. What is basically your requirement? The second major point that you need to know is listen more than you speak. So this is my strategy always that works out very well because let the other person reveals what are their points or their capabilities or their flexibilities instead of revealing your company's information at first.
Yeah.
And thirdly, I feel the same point I would repeat, stay calm and factual. So
Yeah.
keep your emotions out and let your data talk always.
That actually sounds awesome. And it also does show the calm person that you are, because I feel being a listener definitely takes a lot of patience and being
Yes.
calm as well. Letting yourself be in that spot where, okay, I'm trying to understand what the other person is saying. Even to be honest, your presence itself is screaming patient and calm to me right now because I feel I'm very hyper right now. And I hope that me, as well as other people who are watching this, are able to learn and implement this idea that you just gave us, this trick that you just gave us right now.
Yeah.
And supply chain is one of those sectors which needs a lot of confidence, I feel, because the male dominant aspect. So,
Yes.
how do you actually build that confidence when you are a newbie? Because you are already scared of entering the sector in the first place. And then comes the second hurdle of being male dominated. So, how do you keep yourself together and not feel all out of place?
Um, See, it will definitely feel you out of place once you enter into a male-dominated society. So no
Yeah.
matter how much we as a women say that we don't, feel like and we are up to the date and we can walk shoulder, but somehow there are more raised eyebrows and the more raised question that what is she doing? And sometimes it's a question mark to us also that we will be able to prove or not. But I think if you inculcate certain habits then you can stay for long in this industry. And uh, each and every female should think that we are not here to prove any point to anyone, but we are here to lead it one day at our own responsibilities, at our own place. So I think there are certain habits I would say that one female should inculcate, like take one step at a time. You need not be rushing fast. You have to be slow. Learn one step at one time. Maybe a new dashboard one day, a new negotiation skill one day. Then you must document everything so that that problem which you have just now resolved doesn't occur the next other day. And definitely, you have to build your relationships across the supply chain, be it with your business partners, be it your transporters, be it the cross functional team, be it your vendors. You should know the facts and the realities about everyone, and you have to be in touch in order to get your work done. That's the foremost important thing. And on above all, you have to stay calm when everything is on fire. So calm is your competitive edge, I would say. And lastly, show up your consistency. No matter what, just consistency and showing up is what actually matters. So I think these 4, 5 habits, if any individual can inculcate, and you won't just grow in supply chain, but you will stand out of it.
Definitely, Mama. We hope we are able to implement these amazing tips and tricks, because I feel a lot of people out there don't even have this privilege of getting these advices from people who have been there. Like, it's just like life is happening. Oh my God, I have placements, I got the job, I'm just entering into it.
Yeah.
But when there are days where at least me, I'm the privileged one here who gets the chance to talk to people like you who are out there to guide us and teach us as to how do you actually maintain that position in the sector where you can grow and at the same time not freak out.
So I think that I would say that don't rush to prove yourself. Just focus on understanding the system first. Once you understand the logics, why the processes are being in place, I think everything becomes easier. So it is basically connecting one dot with another dot, and it becomes very easy to solve any problem, communicate, and you become more confident. So I think I would rather say that take your time to learn deeply, and speed will come later, but clarity is the foremost thing that comes first. If you have clarity about everything, then you can win over the supply chain.
Wow, okay. I think we are gonna try and get there slowly with the whole clarity of aspects. And I also feel that right now, when we are not yet into the sector, we are dealing with a lot of theory, like different concepts, different ideas. And I feel many of us do find it tough to link the theory to the real life supply chain work. So, what is
Yeah.
something that you have learned on job that textbooks never taught? And was there any incident where you actually could relate that, oh, yeah, I read this and this is the implementation taking place?
See, I would see that theory versus practical is very, very different, to be honest. Because what you read is something else that you implement. So once you land up into a shop floor, you see a lot of people working there and they're actually using their mindsets how to solve the problems, which the textbooks, of course, never tell us or guide us.
True.
So it is just what we observe, how we react to the things is the most that matters in this supply chain. So it is just the thinking capabilities, how vast you can think, how vast you can solve the issues and provides the solutions to the team. That is quite necessary. And there will be multiple of chances on the floor that you will observe, and just with the minor observations, you can change that thing. And in a Japanese saying that there is a special word that is Kaizen. So Kaizen is if you implement something new. So whenever you visit any shop floor, so shop floors are usually termed as Gemba. I don't know, maybe most of the people over here in the supply chain expert would be knowing this. So having the Gemba walks, implementing certain Kaizens is very essential for everyone, those who are working in supply chain. And implementing these small kaizens actually makes a big impact where you work that helps you to increase your productivity as well.
Wow. I'm learning a lot today, and thank you for that. There are a lot of concepts. So, yes, we have been taught in university about Kaizens as well, but knowing how they're implemented was not there. We just got the
Yes.
definition of liner, and we were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But thank you for joining the two ideas as to how Kaizen is actually essential for the real world implementation. And digital transformation is reshaping procurement and logistics. So, what basic digital or analytical tools should every beginner learn?
I think the foremost is the Excel. So you should know the basics of Excels, like simple basics like VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP or the pivot table analysis. Because the data analysis plays the foremost important tool on playing with the numbers, especially if you're working in logistics and operations, because budgets is the one thing that you need to prepare constantly. So there, this Excel playing on the numbers, how you drive those numbers is the foremost important. The second tool I would suggest you the Power BI, because visualization is the one that keeps the numbers driven. So, like if you write in an Excel XYZ numbers, but if you haven't presented it visually, so the game will be over, because whatever we hear is not that important what we visualize or we see. So I think if you work in Japanese companies or the Korean companies, so the foremost important thing is the presentations that they would love to see the numbers in terms of presentations. And I think Power BI tool is a one thing that every individual must learn. Apart from that, I think there are ERP systems like SAP, Oracle. These are the basics that the person should have hands-on, as well as there are certain logistics technology, I would rather say, like WMS, warehouse management system, and the TMS, that is the transport management system, the basics that the person can have the know-how. I think that would summarize all the digital transformation, then you will be through it.
Wow, thank you, ma'am. To be honest, till now it's been tough getting the exact words from people. Like I have got that, you should focus on your analysis skills, but I've never got the exact words. Like as you said, Power BI is the exact word that I was looking for. That what should I exactly work on? I get it visualization tools, but there are so many out there. And
Yes,
thank you for introducing us to these specific names which we can work on and make our life a little easier, I think, when we start into the sector. And lastly, what is that one important piece of advice that you would give to a 22-year-old girl starting off in a male dominated sector?
I would say that you don't need to understand all of it altogether. So you just need to understand one doorway. I mean, just go one step by step. Like start it slowly. Maybe like you learn with the Power BI one day, and then maybe you learn about the graphic representation one day. And I think that way you can have a deep knowledge about each and every department. Like I mentioned, if you like the numbers, go with the analysis. If you like problem solving, go into operations. So it is
Yes,
just taking a small little steps, I would say. Because in the theoretical life, you cannot learn everything via books until and unless you jump onto the shop floors, see what is happening around. So once you step into the industry, you'll have the experience of the world.
definitely, ma'am. Thank you so, so much. And I hope that all of us are able to understand what do we actually enjoy so that we are able to have a smooth entry into the sector as well. Like knowing, recognizing what we are good at and then implementing it. As you just mentioned, as you like pick your choices and then it
Yes,
becomes easier because that's your power, right?
right,
And thank you
absolutely.
for enlightening us today and giving us so many amazing tips and tricks that hopefully we'll be able to implement.
Definitely, it's my pleasure. And I would really want to congratulate once again to you for starting this podcast channel. It's really, really appreciable from a student to start this and, introducing the women's all over the world to share their opinions about the work that they are doing. And the way you're asking us the questions, like the piece of advices, what can a 22-year-old girl can enter into a supply chain, that is all amazing at
Thank
your
you,
level. It
ma'am.
is really, really
You're very
appreciable.
sweet and very kind. Thank you so much. It's all the amazing people like you who are out there ready to give me your precious time so that I can ask you these questions because I feel even when I started, I was so worried as to like, I'm a newbie. I have no idea about the sector. I'm just asking questions, and people are out there ready to provide that help and support. And I think that is what the collaboration is about,
Yes,
having
of
someone to
course.
ask questions and having the answers.
Yes.
So thank you for being here today and enlightening us.
Thank you so much. It was really nice talking with you. Thank you.
Thank, thank you, ma'am. I just stopped recording.